So, my wife comes into the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen, and she pulls out her phone and starts dialing 911. And I asked her why she was calling the police. And then she recognized me. She thought it was a strange man in her house unloading the dishwasher. And as if, I distinctly remember unloading that dishwasher in 2019, so it's not like I never do it. Okay. Hold on one second. It's still dark 30, and I'm starting kind of early. I want to make 3 sheaths. I'm not going to rush though. I'm just going to make 1 sheath at a time and be happy with the sheath I'm making, and then not stress over the second and third. 1 sheath at a time, but I think if I start early, I can get 3 done today. So I'm out here. I'm going to do, I have this sanded up to 150. I want to sand it up to 180. That's all I'm doing here today. I'm going to take this handle off. And the reason is this handle is in such really good shape that I thought about saving it. But here's the thing. It's got a gap, right? And that's where the bacteria and the rust. And so I tried hammering the rivet a little tighter with my hammer, and it just won't close that gap. And look at this from the factory. From the factory, you see how their bevel on the nose of these is off? The angle is off. Hold on, I don't know why this thing won't focus in on that. There we go. There's the gap. And look at that. I do better than that, and I'm just one guy. Anyway, so it's really a shame it's not safe. I'm going to put new wood on it, and I don't know what kind of wood I'm going to put on it. Let me get this winged wood over here, see if I got enough. Well, I can't go that way, but what about that way? That's a weird look. No, that wouldn't look right. I'll find something. Let me see how long this handle is, and I'll start looking for something. So about 5.5, and I got plenty of wood that's 5.5, so I'll find something really nice for it. And this, look, there are no pits. I mean, I'm gonna have to do a bunch of cleaning, but I will not have to go down terribly deep on this. So I'll be able to get this thing looking like a mirror. I'm looking forward to this. And I mentioned it before, but all 3 of these are Bridell's. And Bridell is the company that made these for craftsmen. And they didn't start making them for craftsmen until the early 40s. And they made them with a Bridell name up to the late 30s. So the fact that these have Bridell name stamped on them means they're late 30s, early 30s. 1935 is when they started making these cleavers, this style, in their new factory in Crisfield, Maryland. Okay, I'm gonna take them handles off, turn around and get to sanding on that knife. I got the air conditioner on in my leather shop. By the time I do this here behind me, it'll be nice and cool there, and I'm spending the day inside. Okay, like everything, I got a little sidetracked. So I have found my last piece of Turkish walnut. That came from Russia. This actually came from Oleg, who he used to be very active on Facebook, and now he's not. And he is of the age where he might get conscripted. And I sure hope he's not caught up in all that stuff going on over there, because he sure was a nice guy. Anyway, so I'm gonna have to add the cost of this to the cost of this. So we're already at $100, and that's before I've even done anything to this. Because that's what this cost me 50. This cost me about 50 to get it here. Stabilized, beautiful hunk of wood. So there, problem solved there. It's long enough. Wedgewood and Wedgewood. Okay. Now I'm going to turn around and get to sanding. All right, I got that knife sanded up to 180, 220 is the next grit. I'm going to split this handle off of here, cut these rivets off, and get them looking like that. No handles. And, that's all I'm going to do today. Probably, maybe, who knows. So let me get these handles off, and I want to show you what's under here. And you know, back in the day, they didn't have epoxies and stuff like we do now. And somebody asked me the other day what I use for epoxy. I'm telling you, there is nothing better than this. Now, there are some knife makers that use this Gorilla Glue stuff they get at Tractor Supply. It's not good, and it's not designed for knife handles. This stuff is. As a matter of fact, there's a boat manufacturer in Turkey called Vicum or Vicum. I can't remember. It's VICUMM, something like that. And they have wooden hulled boats, and the way they build their hulls is they crisscross slats of wood, and they use this epoxy in between the slats of wood underwater. So this is waterproof, and they make boat, you know, they're high-end yacht. I say boats, but by boat I mean, you know, 60-80 foot yachts, and they're very high-end. And that's what they use, is a G-Flex West system epoxy, two-part epoxy. So if they'll hold a boat together and the boat is underwater, you know, this is good stuff. And it's expensive. It's 40 bucks for those two little bottles. Yeah, I get, you know, maybe 10 knives out of it, but I'm just saying, anything less and you're fooling yourself. All right, let me get these off here and I'll show you what it looks like under there, which is why I've changed the full handles off. It's all, you know, food and bacteria and blood. And well, this isn't as bad as some. You can see where the gap was up here. There's more under there, but this is not bad back here. Not bad at all. I suspect that this has not been used a whole lot because the back, unlike these, which well, that's been cleaned up. This is peened over pretty good. Got a real lip there that'll have to be fixed. And same with that, but some of it's been ground off. And this has none. So I'm thinking that this hasn't been used a whole lot. Alrighty, I'm gonna cut these rivets off and then go to the leather shop. Yeah, forget about the Turkish walnut. We're going with box elder burl. It's longer, and I can come out to about here and do a nice little curve under here. It just looks nicer. And I haven't done a light colored handle yet. I've done all these dark colored handles, and I think that's gonna look nice. Here's the wood, box elder burl. Stabilized, of course. All right, now, we're getting up, we're going to the leather shop. All right, knife number one. I'm gonna draw this out. What I do is trace the knife, and then depending on if it's gonna be a fold over or a two-piece with a strap-on handle. This is gonna be a fold over. That's going to be a fold over. And this is going to be a two-piece where the leather will come right up to here, and then I'll have a strap go over the handle. So one at a time. I think I'll do the fold overs first and do that third. I'm just gonna work one at a time. So let me get this designed and on paper, and I'll show you what I got. Well, that's the idea. All right, let me cut this out. And what I do is I cut this off. This here, the part that folds over for the belt, I cut it off, and I flip this over, and I trace what I've cut out here over here, and then I tape them together, And then there we go. We have a sheath. And then when I cut out this side, I just tape this on there and trace it onto the leather. All right, here we go. Now, I cut this side out. I run a little tape there, put a little tape up here, and we're good to go. Then we can trace it out on leather. All right, that's what we got. Now, fold it over and sew it. Punch my holes. So another hour or so, we'll have a sheath. All right, I got all my holes punched. Got my belt loop sewed on. Now, I flip this over and I put my contact cement up here. I put my contact cement on the back of this, give it about 15 minutes to get tacky. And then put it together. Put my contact cement on this side, fold it over, run my pins through here to line up all the holes, and then we sew. I'm just a sheath machine, and I won't make one for nobody but you. A thread and dye machine. Sorry you had to hear that. Oh man, that took some doing. There's knife number one. I'm not done. I still got to dress the edge, and man, I got to do a little more work to this, but about 20 minutes and this will be done. And that will be about 10 o'clock in the morning. And I think I can do another one, noon, 1-ish, and I think I can get a third one done today too. So, all right, let me finish this and take a little break. All right, this is for the bird and trout knife, Queen cutlery. And see, it's got little bird tracks. I'm using Spanish brown. I've never used it before, so this will be a first. And whatever it looks like, it always dries lighter like this. Look how dark this was just 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. Alrighty, let's get to dyeing. Everybody dye. Okay, we're getting there. I'm working on sewing it. Got my needles and pins there lining up the holes. It's very tedious and very pokey. But I can't think of any other way to get the holes to line up, so it's a necessary evil. All right, I may be done with this by lunch or just 10 or 15 minutes after, and that will give me the entire afternoon to do another one. Three in a day is not bad, and then tomorrow I can do these two. Yeah, and I'm not, I got my motorcycle to fix, but I'm just not going to worry about my motorcycle until I get all my work here caught up. This fella that bought this, and this. He's paid me for them, and I know he knows that I'm good for it, but he has waited a long time for a cleaver. He's bought a lot of knives from me, and he waited a long time for them. And I usually don't get money up front, but I told him what I was going to want for all three of these, and since he's bought so many knives, I gave him a deal, and he went ahead and paid me, so I just hate having people's money and not having their whatever they've bought ready. So generally, I do not get money up front, just because of the way I feel having somebody's money. And like if I wanted to sit around and not do nothing today, I would feel bad that I wasn't out here making sheaths because I have his money, and I don't want to feel like that. So normally, I don't ask for a deposit or anything like that. Now, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to return money if somebody's paid me for something. But I am going to put more effort into being quicker about getting, not taking any days off or deviating from knife making, like going to working on my motorcycle or something like that. So 2 more days and I will have all these done and nobody's money. I won't be holding anybody's money. And then, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably work on my motorcycle, maybe work on some sheaths. My day will be, you know, free-flowing. Okay, back to sewing. There's 2. Come out kind of nice. You gotta, until it gets broken, you gotta kind of wiggle the knife down in there. It's a really skinny blade, and the tip is, you know, catching on stuff on the way in. So you got to be careful when you slide the blade in. I still got to wax the edge, but I got to let the dye dry just a little bit longer. All right, short break, and then number 3, and that's going to be a 3-piece sheath. It's going to be a front, a back, and a middle, and the back will come all the way up with a strap that goes over it, and the front will only come up to the hilt. All right, we'll be back in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and, since I'm taking a break, I am going to go ahead and draw this out and trace it and start doing some ciphering. All right, I got the 3-piece ready. Here's the back. There's the webbing. There's the front or top. And I will cut slots back here for a belt to go through. All right, let me get my leather out. Last one. Well, last one today. I got 2 more down here. I gotta go get more of the paper that I use, because I don't have enough for these are big knives, and I don't have enough paper to trace these on. So let me get the leather and we'll get to making the last one today. Okay, I gotta let all this dry. Yes, I got a little whimsical. That's the first time I've ever freehanded anything. I just thought it was pretty cool, and I hope the guy buying this doesn't think it's too much, but it's been fun. All right, I'm gonna let this dry, and then I gotta finish going all the way through with my holes, and it's probably gonna be about an hour for this dries, and then I'll be back. We'll be back in about an hour. It's like 1:30 right now, so I got plenty of time. There we go. Well, I'm not done. I still got to put but I don't think I have any snaps. So I got to go digging through my junk box, but there we go. You know, this is only like my 3rd sheath that I've made like this. And I think this won't come out all right. It's probably one of my best ones yet. 2 more to make like this, and all the knives that I got and restored will have sheaths and be ready to go. These 2 are not paid for. These 3 are. So what do you think? I like that. I may do more of this. All right, let me go dig out my box and see if I can find a snap and get that done. And then this is finished. There we go. I had parts I had to scavenge. I knew I had some somewhere. Okay, so all these edges are dressed. Alrighty, so it's about 2 o'clock, maybe 2:15. I think I'm gonna go back in the knife shop and sand on that BC Special just for a couple hours. So have a good Memorial Day. Thanks for watching. And if you drive, man, be careful. People drive like nuts on holidays like this. Plus there's, you know, lots of drinking involved on holidays. Be careful if you drive. We'll see you.